Happy Wednesday night! Welcome to Deep in the Plus. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Tonight, folks, we have it's time to start the music. It's time to light the lights. We're going to be talking about the Muppets tonight with this illustrious group of folks, starting with Mr. Ron Deanna. That's appropriate. Emma Cooley.
Bork, bork, bork.
That's a little too... Wow. That's... Wow. Way to get into the role. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Next, Patrick.
Woman.
Y'all are on some crazy pills tonight, my friends, and I am here for every bit of it.
Oh my God.
So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you, panel, for being here. Very, very quickly put together panel of Muppet fans, I would say. So I want to start with Ron, since he clearly is looking for some attention, and I want to ask you, what is your attachment to the Muppets? What was your first, foray into the Muppets, and what do the Muppets mean to you? And go.
I think the most influential wasn't the first, because definitely, grew up in the Muppet Show and the reruns of that. I think it was still a little bit in first run when I was a, infant toddler. And the original Muppet movie but Muppet Babies was probably the most influential to me over the years, and just love them all. Love the characters. Gonzo and Fozzie have always been my favorites. Rainbow Connection was my wedding song. They're just something, but I've always just loved the characters and loved the humor to them.
That is a really big flex to say that the Rainbow Connection was your wedding song.
And it was an original arrangement, and it was spectacular. There was not a dry eye in the house at that point in time.
All right, Patrick Hackett, same question to you, sir.
Yeah. It's really crazy. I don't remember a time in my life without the Muppets. When this movie started, and, I do my research, and I'm like, 1981, how did I see this when it came out the year I was born? I just always have known the Muppets from the reruns of the show, because I'm much younger than Ron, from Muppet Babies, Fraggle Rock, Sesame Street. Everyone has always been there, and I've been a Kermit guy. That's why I wore the green. I can't find my Pretty Fly for I don't remember. It was in the Muppet shop at Studios. But yeah, so, man, I love the Muppets.
Okay, Emma, as the youngest on the panel, who in your life, because it had to have been somebody, pushed you into Muppetdom?
Well, it was both of my parents. Both of them grew up with the Muppet Show. So, of course, when they came out on DVD, all the seasons, I ended up watching those. I was educated properly. And then, but the movie that was on repeat in my house growing up was Muppets from Space. So that's like my favorite thing when it comes to nostalgia to watch, is that.
There's been a menu
film.
correction, okay? I love Muppets
and then,
from
of course,
Space.
Yes, and then of course, Muppet Vision 3D at the parks is that's a must-do still for me to this day. So.
Yep.
Listen up, Chapek.
For those of you on the East Coast that still have it, and not the West Coast where it's now Mickey's PhilharMagic Light. Yeah, you know what? And for me too, I have this "It's Not Easy Being Green" shirt on to show respect to the Muppets. I love the Muppets, always have. I feel like they get a bad rap in the company because it was such a big deal for Michael Eisner to pair up with Jim Henson, and then Jim Henson passed away, and then the company got dissolved, and then eventually they ended up buying the Muppets, and they didn't really do much with them. So I really feel like any opportunity we have for more Muppets, and we'll talk about that near the end, is a great thing. But when I go on to Disney Plus and I look, I wish there was a button on the homepage for the Muppets, but there's not.
Yes.
So, but
yeah, we looked at that.
Yeah, look at all this Muppet content though, and yet there's no. And there's Ron's beloved Muppet Babies, but there's
not my beloved Muppet Baby. My daughter's beloved Muppet Babies.
I feel like that's you, man. I feel like you're using her as an excuse, and I'm all here for you.
No, that's Bluey.
That's right. That's Bluey.
Both of us in Bluey.
Wait till the Bluey review. Just the two of you guys talking about Bluey. I'll just moderate.
No, the new Muppet Babies is cute. It's not the same as the oh my God, how did they ever get the rights to do this on television the first time? Now that it'll never be re-released, Muppet Babies.
Well, but again, I mean, there should be a Muppet button on the homepage. We have National Geographic, we have Pixar. There, I feel like the Muppets should be as much of any of this as anything. And we'll talk about future Muppets in a little bit, but let's talk about the movie we're here to talk about, which is The Great Muppet Caper, which, if by my math, I believe this was the second Muppet movie. And honestly, to me, this is really kind of my favorite. I know, look at the face on Ron Deanna. Woo! Hold all those comments to the end, sir. You're going to have your time to shine and rip this sucker apart. But to me, as I'm going back and rewatching it, it was just nostalgia all over the place. I mean, you know, I love the, hey, a movie, and all of the, like, the breaking the fourth wall from the beginning. And then when Charles Grodin goes, and me, like, I mean, I don't know. It's cheesy, but it's Muppets. And I'm here for every bit of it. So I'm gonna skip Ron. I'm gonna go down to you, Patrick, and ask you if there were any of those feels that you got from this.
You know, it was a lot of remembering. I didn't recall all of it. I remember some of the Charles Grodin stuff. I remember the end scene with the baseball diamond being passed around. But yeah, this caught me a lot for surprise. I didn't quite remember it as well as I thought I would.
Okay. Well, had you seen this one? I think you did say you had, Emma. You had seen this one beforehand and, like, were a fan of this one?
A very long time ago. Yeah, like when I was a kid, a very long time ago. So this was almost like I was watching it for the first time, pretty much. I definitely caught all those fourth wall breaks that I didn't before. This went over my head as a kid. So that was really enjoyable, especially the part that got me the most was when Kermit and Piggy were talking about Piggy's acting. That just made me crack up so much. But of course, like, I love it. Like, the fourth wall breaks work for the Muppets. It's that campy, fun humor that we all love so much, and I can't get enough of it.
Here's an interesting question. Do you think that them putting themselves down all the time makes people think that the Muppets aren't all that great? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything the Muppets do, it's they're trying to make more money because they're going to lose the theater, or, you know, they're late for the show, or something happens. But they kind of put themselves down all the time. They're kind of the butt of their own joke. And do you think that makes people actually think that? Patrick, am I going too deep on this one? Am I thinking too much on it?
No, I don't think so. I think that's very valid. There's some people that when you damage your own brand, even in jest, it does a significant amount of damage. Like, let's talk about Star Wars Weekends and how they no longer wanted to do the comedy there, which I thought was one of the best parts. So there could be something to be said by that. I don't know what it is.
What about you, Ron? Do you think that damages them at all, or people have a bad opinion of them because of that?
I don't think that's what does it. I think there have just been so many gaps in, you know, Muppetdom. Like, you have I actually always thought this was the third of the Muppet movies. I thought Muppets Take Manhattan was before this, until we did this, because, you know, I was a toddler when these two came out. But there was the gap between that and I think Christmas Carol. Then they did a couple in the 90s with Christmas Carol, Treasure Island, and Space. And then there was the gap to the other Muppet movies. It's what I think puts them down is the inconsistency with how they've come out. Like, you know, Star Wars was back before, like, the early 90s when the books and the comics started back up. It was completely in the realm of uber nerds for a while. Like, oh, you're still watching this? It's old. And then the books and the comics brought it back. And then when the re-releases came out, it's one of those things that just ebbs and flows. And they just haven't done a good job of keeping that content pumping out, other than just toys and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. I've thought that before, and again, in the Jason Segel reboot, I'm gonna call it a reboot. I mean, you know, like you said, there are gaps. It's kind of like Weird Al Yankovic says, "I've always been here," but he has these gaps between albums, and this is the same. They have gaps between versions of the Muppets. The Jason Segel movie, I think he paid homage to the Muppets and gave it a little bit of its own, but there was still a little bit of that poking fun at, and I just, that had crossed my mind at the time.
To me, it's more of they have to be the underdog in everything they do. No matter
Fair.
every movie, they have to go back to being the underdog. They can't keep succeeding, or that's not who the Muppets are.
And you know what? I mean, there's so many Muppets. It's like you can always sort of like attach to your favorite Muppet or the one that you think represents you the most. And so at the end, I'm going to ask you guys, not now, which one you think represents you the most. And I cannot wait to get these answers. So be thinking about it. So let's talk about the movie. So the movie came out in 1981. It's a rated G, which you don't see many of those these days. Everything is kind of PG, PG-13, but you don't really see too many G movies anymore. So it's rated G. And at the time, it kind of followed along a very similar path of the original Muppet movie. But in this one, Kermit and Fozzie are reporters, and they're trying to get the break on Lady Holiday's like stolen jewelry, and so they want to go ahead and like kind of redeem their reputation by going and solving this crime and going to London. And so that's kind of the whole thing. Is they go to London, they try to live on the cheap. They run into an interesting group of characters, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to back up a second, though, to the fact that in this, they call themselves identical twins, and I think that this one picture of their dad is hilarious.
I laughed a long time at that.
Yeah.
It is so good. I mean, and so that's the thing is that they're like, oh, you guys are identical twins. He's like, wait, you're Fozzie and you're Kermit? I love that gag in this one, the fact that they're twins. And I think that, Patrick, I think a lot of people say you and I are twins, aren't we? Sorry to insult you. I apologize. I retract it. Anyway. So when they go and they're heading over to London, they like go over as luggage, and then they get dumped into London.
Wait, real quick. On Gonzo's crate, it says whatever, and at no point in time in this movie is he referred to as a weirdo.
Yeah.
And I was baffled. I was like, wait a minute, hasn't he always been a weirdo?
Are you playing your card early as to which Muppet you relate to the most? Or
No, I'm
identify with
very confused. That this is the face of confusion of like, wait, he's always been a weirdo. He's not a whatever. He's a weirdo.
I think that was funny.
I know, but you're missing the point.
What? Tell me the
I'm
point.
gonna sulk over in there.
Explain it to me.
When did he become a weirdo? That's what I want to know. I thought he always was a weirdo. Like, that was his species, I guess?
Later on, they just call him a gonzo.
Yeah, that's true. They do.
Well, and Muppets from Space was all about where he came from. Yeah. And so that was kind of a neat choice. One of the things that's great about Muppet movies, and we know this from back in the day, is that there's always a cameo. Here's the thing that I wonder if it stands the test of time. When we have Jack Warden was the first cameo, and he is the editor of the paper. I guess he's kind of second because they showed Charles Grodin early, but he's kind of the first big character cameo. Here's the second. Identify this man, anyone?
Couldn't tell you.
I recognized him, but I had to look up who he is. He's just a character actor.
Yeah, he was
a British name.
Yeah, he was a British character actor, but that was apparently a big cameo because why else would they have spent so much time on him? But in 2022, I'm looking back going, nothing. I mean,
now we're getting to one of my problems with this in the Muppet movies.
Oh boy!
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying it's a bad for a Muppet movie. It's in the definitely lower part of the Muppet movies for me, just because there is I think the lack of humans in this to play off as the straight man kind of makes it almost grating at times. The humor just gets a little too wacky without having that grounded character to play off in most of the movie. Because even the biggest human character with Grodin is still a weird kind of person.
That is true. I heard you say, Emma. Do you have thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I guess that it didn't bother me as much. Yeah, I can understand what you mean. Like, it was a little off-putting in the first scene. Like, it was almost a little too much. But I feel like once we got past that, though, like, I didn't notice that for the rest of the film. So that was interesting to hear you say that, Ron.
And it
Anyway,
definitely
maybe
better
big
than I
physical comedy
remembered it.
person.
I will say that.
And so the actor's name was Robert Morley. Does that
Oh
sound
yeah,
right?
Robert Morley.
Sure. Of what, Patrick? What do you know him best from? Just out of curiosity.
He was the third Doctor.
And what?
Doctor what?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. He was actually in a movie called Oh Heavenly Dog. He played Bernie. That's what you meant.
Oh, Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie from Oh Heavenly Dog, which was a bingey movie with Chevy Chase. You should look it up, but don't watch it because I'm sure it does not stand the test of time.
I mean, his IMDb is as long as my arm, and I've watched a lot of those, but he's just a bit part in them.
Well, and again, like reading down the list of the guests, Charles Grodin, John Cleese. John Cleese, his cameo is choice. I love that one. Diana
Perfect.
Rigg as Lady Holiday, Robert Morley listed as British gentleman, Peter Ustinov as truck driver. See, there was another one. Like when I saw him, I was like,
Yeah.
You've taken so much time here. I know I'm supposed to know who this is, but I don't. So I guess that's
Right.
the danger. And I mean, that's the danger of a lot of like modern comedy stuff that they do, like Aladdin, right? Aladdin uses so many references. Like, or do little kids today go, "Oh, that's a good Jack Nicholson impression, Mr. Genie"? You know, I mean, I think at the time, like, they all make sense, and it's like, wow, this is a modern, relevant movie. But when you're making a classic, and maybe you don't know when you're making a classic, maybe that's the problem. But when you're making a classic, it's like you feel like you need to know that it's going to be somebody you're going to get down the road. So,
Like Oscar.
yeah, exactly. Who? Oh, Oscar the Grouch. So let's take a jump forward to something that I feel like is a little bit more near and dear to our hearts here, and maybe I'm overplaying this. The Happiness Hotel. So there have been times where we've gone to WDW&T events and people make up the Happiness Hotel where they pool all their money and like 82 of them sleep in one room. The first time I heard about that, I was like, nope, not going to happen. It sounds like loads of fun, but I mean, so I had sort of forgotten that this is where the Happiness Hotel is from. So here's the Happiness Hotel. There's the bust for the Happiness Hotel. And there's the actual Happiness Hotel. So the reason that they go to stay here is they were told, hey, this is a place where you can go and you can stay for cheap. How cheap? Free. You know, let's talk to our let's talk to our current traveler, Emma. When you hear free, do you jump at that chance, or how are you feeling about free hotels?
No. Oh, no. Let me tell, like, there are stories. I'm not going to share them on the air. You can ask me later, but we had an interesting hotel incident one time. But anyway, we're okay. We're safe. We live to tell a tale. But, yeah, let's just say I can be very hyper aware of where I am in the country sometimes. But anyway, nonetheless, we've been okay. We've been safe for the most part. But, yeah, free. I was like, it reminded me of like unsafe hostile vibes when I was
Youth hostel,
was-
not as in aggressive hostel. Youth hostel.
right.
Okay, cool.
Youth hostel.
Just
I was waiting
verifying.
for Eli Roth to come out.
So here's another glimpse into the Happiness Hotel. And again, these are the kind of weird folks that you would run into in a WDW&T Happiness Hotel as well. So it's basically the same. So I mean,
I was so excited for Scooter. I forget that he's in stuff sometimes because there's been so much Scooter erasure, and I just love that little guy.
Scooter Erasure?
Are you thinking Skeeter Erasure?
Are you thinking the band Erasure?
No, definitely not.
Okay. And then also we get a lot of Dr. Teeth in this one and the Mayhem Band, which is kind of fun because I feel like we didn't really ever get a lot of them in. I mean, we got a little bit of them in the Muppet movie, the original, when they run into them in that church. But here's the thing too, is that this movie, I wonder if little kids at the time were disconnected from the fact that you have the first movie where they go in, and it's the Muppet movie, and they go to make it ends up with them, they're going to make a movie. And then you go to this one, and everybody's a different character, and everybody's different, and it's like they're meeting the band for the first time. Like, should it exist? So, talk to me. You've got an idea.
That's my big thing. So are they the Muppets making a movie where they're breaking the fourth wall, where they're playing other characters? Or is it just their daily life that's become a movie? I don't know, because at times it felt like they're playing other characters, like Fozzie and Kermit being brothers. It's not like a canonical thing. And Kermit and Piggy not knowing each other, so it feels like they're in a movie and aware that they're in a movie, but they're playing different characters, like Kermit's in the role of that Kermit. Does that make sense?
Yes. You've just gone into the multiverse. I got you.
Oh.
I got you.
Every Muppet movie has to be about them getting together. Again, like Kermit getting amnesia and bringing everybody back together in, Manhattan, the first movie, getting the group together, getting everybody back together for the Muppets. And the others, like this, they have to be playing characters to get everybody together again. And I'm trying to forget Muppets is from Space, because that is just not good at all.
Wow.
There's one good joke in that movie.
Wow.
I'm sorry, what?
How
Yeah.
dare
Not
you,
like
sir?
Muppets.
How
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
dare you?
Why don't you pour another drink, Tipsy McGee?
Them fighting
Wow.
words.
I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. Hey,
I have not seen it since theaters. I will say that. So maybe that's
watch
part
it
of the
again,
problem,
dude.
But
Watch it again.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think it's on Disney Plus. I think it's owned
It's
by
not
Sony.
like you have to watch hours of gummy bears for a show next week. You just
Hey-o.
watch Muppets in Space.
I already watched that when it came on Disney Plus out of nostalgia.
Hey, Emma, real quick, will you do me a favor? Will you name everyone in this picture? Go.
Well, let's see. We got Scooter, we got Bunsen Honeydew, we got Rolf, Janice, Dr. Teeth. I cannot remember. We got Zoot, Animal. I think I see the Swedish Chef over there. Camilla is one of the chickens. I can't remember the other chicken. Rizzo's in the corner. That's all I got.
That's pretty darn
I can't remember the
impressive.
name of the
No.
fish guy.
That's pretty darn impressive. I think. Bravo. That is
Thank
good.
you.
Has anybody else got any names that?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's
Who?
it.
It's Harry. Is that the guy's name that blows stuff up?
I was about to say, I don't
yes,
remember
that
him.
is Harry.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Harry.
Yeah.
And that's not Guy Smiley, right?
No, it looks like Guy
something.
Smiley, though.
I got to
Giving off
tell you
big-
though,
big
shortly
Guy Smiley
after is
vibes.
one of my favorite bits too.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yes. I said to Shayna, she was watching them, I'm like, I don't think I ever saw them do that with the Muppets.
I mean, that's dedication right there. That is something big.
Should be the new thumbnail.
There's a lot of gimmicks in this movie that they use that I don't remember them doing in any other movie really, or maybe even since or before. By the way, Dawn was like New Zealand, like right away. She's like, boom, there's Lou.
I love New Zealand.
There we go.
So when we're going in and we're seeing all these effects, there's a lot of things like the rats carrying the suitcases and them riding the bicycle and the Miss Piggy swimming and riding the motorcycle. I mean, there are a lot of little gimmicks in here, and I think some work and I think some do not. And as a matter of fact, Ron looks like he's ready to say something. By the way, Ron, somebody said in the chat, why is Ron on tonight? Ron is on here tonight to fight, and he is ready to go.
Yeah.
He is ready. He is hot. He has been locked in a box. He is ready to go. So, let's bring it on, Ron.
No, the one that got me was when you could obviously tell it's a person with a piggy head on with the high dive.
I mean, I felt like that added
yeah.
That
to
was so
tremendous.
And then you see, and then you can see it again later on the motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
But, yeah, the one in the high dive though was so noticeable. It's like, oh, that's just disturbing.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Well, my
Yeah,
comment was at least her head didn't fall off when she fell in the water this time.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That is where it looked really freaky. Yeah, absolutely.
Some of it was done with remote-controlled Muppets, which I thought was pretty awesome. Like the hot air balloon shots were remote-controlled, and what they had to go through with Brian Henson and some remote-controlled to get the bike riding stuff is really impressive.
By the way, here's the piggy in question.
It's amazing. It's so good. You don't know what you're talking about. It's tremendous. I love it.
It's very Here Come the Muppets.
It's better on the motorcycle. It's much better on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
When it is clearly an adult man in a Miss Piggy costume.
All right, I'll find the motorcycle in a second,
Yeah.
but again, like I'm saying, they were going outside the box, which I appreciate, but I think a lot of these effects do not stand up, like the human in the Miss Piggy suit and et cetera, et cetera. What? Let me ask you the question. What is the best scene in this movie, Patrick? Like, I just want to jump to you right away. What is the best scene in this movie?
I think it's the end. I think the end scene gives us all that shenanigans of the Muppets that we like. Playing baseball with the baseball diamond, just everything in chaos. I mean, it reminds me of the end of Muppet Vision. It also reminds me a little bit of the end of Blazing Saddles. So I thought that ending was, I felt quintessential Muppets.
Yeah. Okay. Emma, same question. What's the best?
I think my favorite was the dance number in the restaurant because that was just giving me all kinds of Hello Dolly vibes, and it was fantastic. I couldn't stop laughing the whole time, especially when there was the gratuitous tap sequence. Anyway.
Yeah, Ron, can you think of a best scene?
No, I don't hate the movie. All right, I just think it's bad for a Muppet movie, which is still like a B-. Okay.
I can't get a good still shot of it, by the way, but here's the.
Yep, there it is.
It's so bad.
It's so good.
bad.
It's like a 6-foot tall person.
I would have said the end scene as well, but the Happiness Hotel song is the other scene I would probably choose.
Yeah.
Tyler in the chat said the John Cleese scene is amazing. Which
Oh
it
my
is.
gosh! See,
Yes,
I'm gonna agree with that
yes.
one. That is so good.
Yeah.
That is so.
It's perfect for Cleese, but when it starts, you just see the back of the wife's head. I thought it was going to be Michael Palin.
I thought it was going to be his wife in Faulty Towers, and I had to look several times to make sure that it was, and I thought we were going to get a nice Faulty Towers reference.
I'm just really surprised we didn't get another Python and Drag for that.
Nice.
Well, I mean, maybe kids wouldn't have gotten that though. I mean, I know that they're kind of like Muppets are for all ages, but maybe they wouldn't have gotten that. But I mean, him just
Yeah.
standing here, like the whole scene with him, just kind of yep. What is it, dear? Oh, there's just a pig climbing up the side of the building. Okay, all right. And the part where she's in the closet, he says, "Can I get you anything?" And she's like, "No, I think we're good." Like that is classic. That's my favorite part of this movie, hands down, is that scene. So I agree with Tyler on that one. So the whole gist of this is that Lady Holiday is in New York. Her diamonds are stolen, or her necklace is stolen, her jewelry is stolen, and then they go overseas. And Lady Holiday is basically Cruella de Vil. Prove me wrong. Right?
I mean, I was getting more Devil Wears Prada vibes.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole panel agrees.
Yeah. No, I'm targeting you.
I see that.
I see you down there. I see you, Patrick.
Did anybody else notice in the heist scene the cars don't have windshields?
No.
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 I'm pretty
Why would
sure
I
it
notice
was not. I'm pretty sure I watching that. Like, I don't think there's a windshield in that car.
I mean, it's just good sense, Ron. You don't need a windshield when you're shooting a movie like that. But I mean, there's so many things about this that are little details that I think were amazing, and you guys are going to think I am crazy for this one. But one of the little details that I thought was great was the close-up of Kermit ringing the doorbell. I mean, come on. That's hilarious, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, they're going out of their way. This is what Kermit the Frog looks like ringing a doorbell. I don't know why. I was just like, huh, okay, all right, I see you.
Was the doorknob in the middle of the door a British thing? It really messed with me.
Probably.
I was like, what? It's just
Yeah.
awkward.
Maybe.
So
It's an era thing. I don't know what era, but
Maybe.
I do get your point about the Devil Wears Prada, because there is a scene where we first meet Miss Piggy, where she is showing up at Lady Holiday's because she wants to be a model and she will accept nothing less. And then Lady Holiday's like, "I'll make you a secretary." She's like, "Did it?" And so again, you're right. This is like this multiverse where, like, now in this movie, it's Miss Piggy playing an aspiring model. So she's got her lookbook as she's flipping through, and every look is exactly the same, and she's giving different descriptions from all of it. And again,
That got me good.
that's a good one, right? That's a good joke as well.
A good bit.
That was
So
pretty
many
funny.
little bits on there that are so great. Tyler seems to think the cameos aren't for the kids. Interesting.
I was going to say, are Muppets actually for kids? I always felt like it was more of a adults enjoy it and kids see the puppets kind of thing.
I guess.
I think it's always been something a little subversive about the humor. Not body or anything like that, but just enough to fly over the kids' heads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the complaints when the Muppet Show came out, the last one that was on ABC. People were complaining about some of those. And it was all double entendre. It's like, if your kid gets this, you're not sheltering them from anything by turning it off. Yeah, like, there's a joke where Fozzie's like, when you're on a dating site and you describe yourself as a lovable bear, you're going to get some weird responses. So, well, like, that's a joke right for the adults that flies over the kid's head. No, it's not going to, ruin a kid's childhood getting something like that, because they're not going to get it.
Well, I mean, I think that as a kid, I think the thing that I showed up for at this particular movie was the Busby Berkeley Footlight Parade takeoff. That's what I was there for.
That was pretty
The
funny.
Ethel Merman, is it Ethel Merman? Is that who did the swimming movies? I don't know. They're swimming movies for me are like, anytime I've seen that scene in like an old movie or something, I go, this took a lot of work and I hate every minute of this. Seriously, I hate those scenes. I don't know why, but it's like I look at it and I can appreciate how much work it took where they do the reverse, like when Miss Piggy comes out of the pool and she's dry because they do the reverse stuff and, and them swimming underwater and how difficult that would have been. Hate it. Hate all of it. Thoughts, Emma? Have you been cast in anything underwater?
No, thank God. I can swim, but that would be a lot. I think it's really impressive. I mean, synchronized swimming, just how talented and how strong and everything that you have to be to do that, and the amount of breath control you have to be able to do that is so. I'm always fascinated by it. Would I ever want to do that? Probably not. But I'm always amazed by it.
Again, there's a lot of work that goes into this. I totally get it. I just pass. That's all I'm saying.
I have to hear a lot about synchronized swimming because my wife was a synchronized swimmer in high school because they pushed her into it because she was an identical twin. And it's one of those sports that they just like push identical twins into doing. So yeah, I have to get commentary whenever we see these things.
Did she appreciate this? Did she watch this movie with you?
Yes, she did.
Did she appreciate the identical twins in it because of being an identical twin? And how similar they were?
I think she looked just as confused as everybody else. But
okay. Cool. All right. Well, I don't. Again, I mean, this was not about any shade at synchronized swimming. This was about swimming movies. So if she did any of those, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend her, but it's not about synchronized swimming. So, anyway, hey, you guys want to do some trivia? Let's do some trivia.
I paid no attention.
You paid some attention because I got to pull one off the board, and it goes. I'm going to give you credit for it right away. What was on the side of Gonzo's cage?
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean that to me was a very small little thing, but I saw it and I was like, oh well, I got to put that down. When they were on the plane, Patrick, I'm not going to target you. We'll ask everybody here. When they were on the plane, what class were they in? They weren't in first class, second class. What class were they in on the plane?
Class.
Ninth.
Oof, you guys, you were paying attention this time. You said you weren't, but you were. The Happiness Hotel is there's a street sign in front of it as to what area of town they're in. What area of town are they in?
Cheapside.
Dude, you were rocking it. You were just knocking it
W2.
out of the
Yeah,
park.
W2 Cheapside.
Yep. You guys killed it. Well, and conversely, John Cleese and his wife live at
Highbrow 17.
Yeah, I was like 17. It would take me a minute to get there.
In the Happiness Hotel, when Janice is under her her tanning light, she's reading a magazine. What magazine is she reading?
People?
Why would she do
I
that?
expect more High Times.
She's reading
That's more Floyd.
Rock Scene magazine.
Ah.
Yeah. Rock Scene magazine. When Lady Holiday walks in to admire the dresses, there are 3 models in there. What are the 3 models' names?
Oh, they all rhyme.
Darla,
Carla, and Marla.
Carla, and is it Maria? No.
The other one the union sent. I can't think of it.
Yeah. You guys got 2 of them. It was
me.
Carla and Darla and...
Starla.
Farla,
No!
Barla, Garla, Narla.
Art,
Sarlacc
Bart,
pit?
Cart, Dart, Eart. Nope, there's nothing wrong with that name. Marla.
I said Marla.
Oh, it is Marla?
That was the first one I said.
Oh,
You
sorry.
said Marla.
Sorry. I reiterated, Ron. I said Carla, Darla, and who? Sorry.
Starla.
Sorry. When Miss Piggy escaped from the big house, because she was thrown in prison. She was thrown in prison. When she escapes in a laundry truck. What is the name of the laundry truck?
I
Big
just
House
saw
Laundry?
it.
I just saw it too.
What did you
No,
say,
I
Ron?
can't remember the name.
Big House?
Big House Laundry. It says BHL across the side. Big House Laundry. Because she makes such a big deal of saying we call it the big house in here, and he's like, you've been in here for 15 minutes. Also, conversely, when she lucks into the motorcycle, what's on the side of that truck that drops off the motorcycle?
Oh my gosh.
Plot device? Did it say plot device?
You would think that.
Yeah.
You would think that, but no, that is not correct. Putting you out of your misery, Super Wheel Stunt Team.
Oh.
So that is the end of that. Y'all kind of rocked it though. I mean, y'all kind of rocked it. Ron's like
Better than it did last time.
17 Highbrow Street. Next, go on. What else you got? This is ridiculous. Don't
No,
even offend
I was looking
me.
for anything with a number to remember. And
That's what we do. We're on to you.
Rock Scene Magazine. Rock
Yeah.
Scene Magazine. Look it up. It's fine. There were only.
We're on trivia. Well, we had Wayne Manor as the Mallory Gallery.
Mm-hmm.
And was the Supper Club the South Seas room from the same, like...
From
almost
Rocketeer?
Exactly like this. Yeah, was it the same set, maybe?
Oh my god.
Like this-
Yeah. That
it
I was like,
had
this
to be.
scene
It looked
looks
just
so
like it.
familiar.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been from Temple of Doom,
Oh.
because that would have been,
One?
huh?
Club Obi-Wan?
Yeah, it could have been from that era, right?
That's right about it. I'm just wondering if there's like, one of those standard, oh, we need a Supper Club set. Oh, Warner has it on their lot. Let's just go use it. Like, I wonder if it's...
Oh,
This was
okay.
all filmed on location.
In London.
I was going to say, I thought when they
Yeah.
fell in from the plane for the first time that they were in Stratford-upon-Avon. Like, those buildings looked like that particular town.
Maybe it's at Pinehurst.
Pinehurst Studios. Is that what you're talking about?
It
Yeah.
is L Street Studios.
Oh, L Street. Okay.
Interesting. One more look though when we're talking about all
And
of
yes,
the.
it is Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It was more. It was
that's
closer to that time.
Wow, that's
It
great.
was closer to that
Yeah.
time frame.
Good job.
So I first again, I just want to before we go any further, please, if you haven't already, give us a like. It helps people find find the show, and also if you haven't watched it yet, Disney Entertainment News Today We do give a little call to something that is happening in Muppet world, and maybe we'll talk about that a little bit at the end, because I do want to save time for the what's happening next with the Muppets, and also Ron is going to put on a full puppet show for us. Post show, just the four, just the three of us. He's just afterwards, so we'll tell you how it is. It's probably gonna be great.
Waka waka. Fozzie is not my best.
No.
I was about to say, you feel good about that one?
Nope, not at all.
So again, the thing that in my mind when I'm watching this movie that I thought were amazing is the baseball diamond. So they're trying to steal the baseball diamond, and the joke is just right there. And to my knowledge, this was the first time it was ever used, and it was so beautifully done. Sleek Animations Wolf wants to know if your puppet show is going to be a Wigs exclusive. No, just us. But the effects things were a big deal to me from this movie. The Happiness Hotel was a big deal to me from this movie. But the bike riding is the most visual effect that I remember from this movie. Mm-hmm. Just because it was so unique, and I'm just like, wait a minute, hold on, time out. Muppets are like, only half of a person puppet. Like, how did they make this happen? And so I do like going back and seeing, like you were talking about, Patrick, some of those puppeteer things that they were able to do with it and the rigs that they used. But it was so well done. Mm-hmm. So there you go. I don't really know that I've left you any time to any room.
Recently for.
Go.
Oh, I was just saying, having dabbled in puppetry recently, since I do some puppeteering in my current show that I'm in, and how difficult that is on its own. The fact that all those visual effects, I can really appreciate how much hard work went into that, and the fact that it still stands to impress me, like to this day, that says something.
Yeah. And Yoda would have come up between Muppet Movie and this. So they would have had experience, or Henson would have had experience with, something that they tried to get a best actor Oscar for a puppeteer out of. So just the technology jump probably between the movies was funded by Lucas a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, I that's a good point. I love the scene too where they're plotting like how they're going to go and stop the baseball diamond from being stolen, and they go back and forth between Charles Grodin's crew and what they're putting together, and then the Muppets all sitting around the table, trying to plan out their anti-heist. I mean, that again, the juxtaposition between the two was just so well done. So anyway, Patrick, let me ask you a question about just the effects of this movie. Do you think, Miss Piggy head aside, 6-foot man and a Miss Piggy head aside, that most of these effects stand the test of time, and or are they just groundbreaking effects that look horrible?
No, they absolutely stand the test of time. I love practical effects. Practical effects is one of my favorite things in a movie. Like when you're talking about Inception, how they're actually in that room and they're moving it. Do the work. It doesn't look as good on a computer. I mean, there's some things you have to use, and like giant space sets are impossible to create. But I really like the bike riding. Again, giant Miss Piggy aside, but the bike riding, the hot air balloon scene, the scene for the heist itself there's so much going on, and it just feels very lived in and very real.
Yeah, I agree. So as an actor, Emma.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was Charles Grodin's acting as Nicky?
I mean, I don't think it was bad. I thought it was a choice. Like it worked. I thought he was kind of playing the phony side from the beginning. I mean, it was a little obvious. So maybe I don't know.
I love that
it's a 5. Like, it's in the middle for me. Like, I think it worked for the film, but I mean, it's all right.
I love that you call it a choice. He's walking in kind of like he's Steve Martin from Two Wild and Crazy Guys. Like, hey, I don't know. It's
that's what I mean. That could have been his character choice. Like, you don't know.
Are they brother and sister, or are they together?
Yes, they're brother and sister.
Okay,
Brother and sister with
I
not
didn't
with
pick that
different
up immediately.
continental accents again. That's something that
Yeah.
bugs me in movies.
There is there is an account on Instagram that is, are they dating or are they siblings? You should look it up. You're going to be wrong every time. I'm just putting that out there. It is that kind
I
of
thought
situation.
Charles Grodin was amazing. He was exactly what the script called for. When somebody hands you that and you're like, oh, cool, I get to chew literally every piece of scenery that's around me and overact and ham it up. I mean, he's what it was called for. He's brilliant. And Piggy's diss on him is one of my favorites.
Oh, God, that's so funny.
What do you know about singing? You were dubbed. I was dying.
Oh, when they were the two circles? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
I
Well, no,
was-
it's when she's coming out of the fountain because it says there was no.
I honestly, again, I think that I remember him so well from this, and he seems to be like, you were talking, Ron, I think, about having an actor to act against. He's, to me, like what I remember from this movie, too.
I remembered, like, one of the things I went into it, I liked it more than I remembered, but I remembered so much more of the heist stuff, like, being such a bigger part of the movie than it actually was. Like, I remember everything revolving around this jewel heist, and it really was not, like, the last half an act of it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
it was just a memory thing that really might have been one of the things that hurt my thinking of this.
could be.
I agree with you. I thought it was all about the heist, and I would have, if you paid me, I would have been like, yeah, they're trying to get it back. That's what I thought it was about.
You know what movie I think I'm confusing a lot of this with? Do you remember Cloak and Dagger?
No. You're much older than all of us.
Oh, it's an 80s movie, like, where a spy comes out of a video game. It's total cheesy 80s kids, like, action-adventure, but I think I confused a lot of that with some of the heist scenes in this.
I definitely smushed this together with Takes Manhattan. My memories are not, like, able to be picked apart from those two.
One thing that I thought was absolutely, I did not remember this, but absolutely 100% heartwarming about this movie was Jim Henson's cameo in it. I did not remember that he did a cameo in this, and I was just like, wow, that's so cool. I mean, that was a big deal. And the woman who was with him was the Muppet Workshop designer Amy Van Gilder, which I think is funny that she's Amy Van Gilder when she looks sort of like Gilda Radner.
Huh?
I don't know.
A little, yeah.
So, one of the cameos I found out about is Christine Nelson. She's the girl in the park who thinks that Kermit's a bear, and she is the daughter of she was the daughter of Jerry Nelson, who also appears in the scene, who's a Muppeteer. And Christine passed away the next year from cystic fibrosis, so it was a really nice tribute for him, a longtime Muppeteer, to be able to get his daughter in the movie.
I have just a photo of that here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So we've talked about this movie a lot. I do want to get your final thoughts on it, but before we get into that, I do want to ask you about the future of the Muppets, the current and future. So, we talked about Disney owning them, and I want a button on Disney Plus. Please make that happen. But on top of that, there is a new show coming. And here's the thing. There was The Muppets, which was the Office-style show that was on, which I liked. I didn't love, but I liked it. And it was Muppets, and we had Muppets. I loved Muppets Tonight, especially when Prince was on. I thought that was great. That was a fun show. I hate that that's not available on Disney Plus. But then there was this Muppets Now on Disney Plus. I don't know. Was anybody here a huge fan of that?
I liked it a lot.
Not really. There were some bits I liked, but
Yeah, I
The
don't
Swedish Chef cooking bits were amazing.
know. Okay.
The YouTube versions they did of those were better. Like the original YouTube shorts.
So then there was this like mystery Josh Gad Muppet show that was supposed to happen, or movie. I don't know if it's a movie or show, but it didn't happen because there was some fallout about it. And so that I was sad that didn't happen. But then we hear that Adam F. Goldberg, from the Goldbergs fame, is putting together a show called Muppet Mayhem about the Electric Mayhem Band. That, to me, is just brilliant. Rather than going and digging in, like you were talking about, Patrick, earlier, about this multiverse and recasting Kermit in some other role, going into, like, the Muppets as like, the Mayhem Band is kind of amazing. Are you down for that, Ron? Are you excited about that?
Yeah. I think those are characters that can be fleshed out. I mean, they all have names. They all, Janice, Zoot, Floyd.
Are you testing yourself now?
I'm trying to remember. There's Lips, and then I think that's it. But they all
Dr.
have,
Teeth.
and sometimes Ralph. I mean, Dr. Teeth's in the name. I was not going to go with Dr. Teeth.
Yeah.
But I think you can flesh them all out, and I think they've been fairly one-dimensional, but that's a lot of the Muppets.
Yeah.
And then they get fleshed out when they get more time.
That's true, and I think that's a good thing. And so there's the announcement that we talked about on Disney Entertainment News today was that Taj Mowry, from what was that show he was on? The little kid. He was a little kid. Smart something.
Smart guy.
Smart guy. Is that what it was?
I think so.
All right. Well, I think that was it, right? Anyway, he is going to be like kind of the lead. He and is going to be kind of like a super fan of the Mayhem Band, which I think is kind of neat.
Yeah.
And he's also the brother of the Twitches, so that's exciting. Maybe they'll do a cameo. Smart guy. Yeah, that was it. Sorry, Emma. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just saying, I hope that the content is going in the direction of Muppets Haunted Mansion rather than the quality that Muppets Now was, because I think just the writing wasn't as good for Muppets Now, and I think it was fantastic for the Mansion special, so I really hope that they are going that way.
You make a great point, because we did a review of Muppets Haunted Mansion on Deep in the Plus, and it came out last October. Loved it. I think you're right. That's exactly what it needed to be, is that kind of thing. So I hope that is the case. But at least in this one, they can follow them, just like in the Country Bear movie.
Yes, I love the Country Bear movie. It is completely underrated, and it is a lot of fun. If you need a fun, I think it's only 90 minutes, man, go watch Country Bears. It's great.
Bears!
Bears! I think that Scooby-Doo is really what we kind of need the Muppets to do. It's that, hey, we have a celebrity guest this week, and you know who he is, but they're playing a different character, or maybe it is just the Harlem Globetrotters. I cannot imagine why Gob's name is his actual name is escaping me right now, but he was fantastic as the Ghost host. And just having these other actors live in the world of the Muppets, I think that's where we can strive.
Yeah. One last thing to talk about with regards to the Muppets. And by the way, we didn't talk about the music, which I would have loved to have done, but we're running a little bit over. But I think I liked the songs in this, but they weren't as good, I think, as the first movie. But anyway, but the other thing is Disney in the parks with the Muppets, they seem to not be able to get a grasp on what that is. We talk about Muppet Vision, which was overseen by Jim Henson. He got what needed to happen. I mean, that was awesome. The never built lands just make me so sad, like the Great Muppet movie ride and the original restaurant that was supposed to happen. When I saw Rizzo's was coming, I thought, great, we're going to dig up the old stuff. Rizzo's, while it has some Muppet charm and the little hidden things in it, is not the over-the-top Muppet restaurant I wanted in my life, and neither is the Regal Eagle. So I wanted more Muppets and that kind of stuff. It has hints of Muppets, and maybe that's what they were looking for, but I wanted, like, in-your-face Muppet stuff in both of those situations. And then the Muppets' Great Moments in History
phenomenal.
Was so good.
Amazing.
Ron, why did they take that away?
Cool.
I'm sure it's just expensive to run from a cast perspective. And that's probably it. It also kind of gums up the works in Liberty Square at that point. And now with the cavalcades, even if it wasn't, paying for the cast, you've got cavalcades going through there on a regular basis that are kind of need that space.
I mean, I have the solution right here.
Well, we'll go to Patrick and then to Emma.
Move it to Epcot.
No, rip out the Hall of Presidents. Rip that stupid thing out and put in Great Moments in History with the Muppets.
Okay, I don't like that. Let's go to Emma.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, let's move it to Epcot. You have a Muppet-themed restaurant there. Why don't you just do the show over at the American Adventure somehow? Whether it's on the stage, whether you build a set like you have in Liberty Square, but above the restaurant or something, just make it work. I think it would be perfect to have over there. Because then you have not just that show, but the Voices of Liberty and lots of entertainment over there.
I think it was nice that they gave it a little nod at that Christmas a year ago, where they came out, and even though they weren't speaking, and they put down they unfurled the things and the windows. At least that was something. But yeah, I loved that show. I thought it was very well done. Sam the Eagle popping out of the top. And you know what? Go ahead, Patrick. Gut it and put the Muppets in. I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. But again, you've gotten rid of Muppet Vision in California. They closed down the Great Moments in History. I feel like they didn't really do enough. I feel like there needs to be something substantial in a Disney park, and it not just be a comma. But that's just
right.
That's just me.
I will chain myself to Muppet Vision 3D if
Same.
they come for that.
Yeah.
I'll lose my job over that. I really that's Jim Henson's last work. If the monsters who are running this company right now do that, I couldn't imagine. It would literally be beyond the pale.
Well,
it's historical.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say historical or hysterical?
I think it's both.
Okay. Desi says, I agree with Patrick. Hall of Presidents needs to go. That's just because she hates America, though.
No. It's because 95% of the people hate half of the people who are in there, and it just doesn't make sense when there's such a horrific climate in this country right now that people are going to boo people on party lines.
Maybe make it half a theater, and you put Lincoln, the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln on one side, and then on the other side we do Great Moments in History.
I just want Muppets. Just give Muppets all of Liberty Square. Why not?
All we are saying is give Muppets a chance. That's all we're saying. I think we covered everything. I hope we have. I appreciate you guys being on here tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always. We love it. Next week we are going to be doing, and Patrick has been studying so hard, so please tune in for it. On 420, we are doing the Gummy Bears. So I don't know. Patrick, tell me why you chose 420 for the Gummy Bears.
Well, you see, as times change and things change, things become legalized, and in the state of Connecticut, it is common knowledge that many people like to imbibe in a spirit of choice via gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Okay, all right. Well, that's going to be exciting, and we're going to be talking
No, it's not.
Whoa.
It is going to be sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right.
All right. So, again, if you have not already, please give us a like, and don't forget to watch Disney Entertainment News today. But now, here is the time. Here is the moment. Now is the time. Now is the best time. Now is the best time
of your
life. And I'm going to start with Emma on this one. And we're gonna go around counterclockwise and end with the man, the myth, the legend, Ron Deanna. But now is the time, Emma. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
The people are waiting. They want to know. Would you, Emma Cooley, in an undisclosed location somewhere in America, would you recommend this movie?
Yes, I would recommend this movie. Absolutely. It's a classic Muppet. You gotta watch it.
Okay. She is in a place with very bad Wi-Fi.
It's
Patrick
just that box.
Patrick
It's
Hackett.
that box. It was Desi the other day.
That's true.
Something's going on with the lower left-hand corner.
No, it's my Wi-Fi.
I don't know if I would recommend this. If you're a Muppet fan, watch it. But if you're like dipping your toe into the Muppet waters, I don't know if I would go with this.
That's a
Wow.
bold statement. Well, now,
Yeah.
so this is like she says yes, you say maybe.
I'd get it. Yeah, it's definitely low on the movies I'd recommend in the Muppet list. It's if you want to watch them all, definitely, but watch a lot of the others first. Is my way of it would be my way of recommending this. I mean, I've already gotten. I was gonna say there is a time I did get one other website. I was responsible for getting them a cease and desist from Henson Company. So yeah. I'm going to try not to have that happen here.
That's a weird brag.
That's how
Ron.
we met Nick.
Yeah, right. So I would still recommend this movie. I think it's fun. It's a quick watch, if nothing else, to make fun of the man in the pig suit riding the motorcycle, jumping into the water. But I do think it's a fun movie. Here's the interesting thing about Muppet movies, though, is you don't really have to watch them in order. And we were talking about the confusion of, it was it Muppets Take Manhattan versus was it the original Muppet movie or the Great Muppet Caper that we saw this in. I think that you can just pick up a movie and watch it, and maybe if it's one you've watched over and over again, just go back and watch it and let us know what you think. We would love to hear in the comments below what you guys think of the Great Muppet Caper. Please let us know in the comments after the show. And again, I love the Muppets. I want there to be more Muppets in the parks on Disney Plus. I'm excited about Muppet Mayhem. I'm excited that we got together to get to talk about this movie.
We didn't name who we thought we were.
I will get to that in a second, sir.
I'm sorry.
The one thing I'm not excited about is that the Muppets, or at least on Disney Plus, when I go to look at the extras for this is the extent of the extras. We know there's more than this. We know there's more than this. Disney Plus, please, for the love of Pete, do something about adding more extras, because you've got a tab for extras. You're teasing us with extras. Give us extras. It's there. Like, just get an intern, have them upload the stuff that already exists from the DVDs, and let's do this. Let's make it happen, because I think that being able to see the behind the scenes of how all these little effects were made, all the cameos, they got to have a lot of this stuff around. So, as we teased from the beginning, this is how we're going to wrap up tonight. I want to hear who each of you think your spirit Muppet is. And we'll start with Ron.
Gonzo. I really think Gonzo's always been, just the oddball of the group, kind of.
Okay. Patrick?
I would like to think animal, but I know in reality I am very much a Fozzie.
Okay. All right. And Emma?
Depending on the day, it's either Animal or Miss Piggy, but I would probably have to say Animal because I'm either a spaz or I'm calm. One of the two. There's like no gray area in between.
You know what? I don't know if I identify with him or just love him, but Pepe. Pepe.
Nice.
There's been a menu correction, okay?
Ron's gotta do Muppets in Space with us again.
Yeah, let's do it. But it's not on. Again, it's a Columbia picture, so it's one of the ones they don't have.
It's weird, the rights of all this stuff.
It is weird. But you know what? Again, it's not the MCU. You can pick up any of these movies and watch them anytime you want to. So, and you know what? If y'all have never seen Muppets from Space, go on over to Emma's house. She's got a copy on DVD.
Do not go to Emma's house.
It's not right now because I'm not there.
Don't go to Emma's house ever. Don't come to any of our houses.
No, please don't.
Guys, we need to be clear about these things. Set
Yeah,
good
yeah.
boundaries. Do not come to our houses. And again, wave at me politely from the park.
Hashtag 6 feet forever.
6 feet forever.
Thank you, folks. Thanks for being on. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for being fans. Thank you to our Wigs members. If you're not familiar with our Wigs program, we love the Wigs. Go to patreon.com/WDWNT to find out more details. But we love you guys so much. Thank you for being on. And again, join us next week, next Wednesday night, 4:20. It's going to be time for the Gummy Bears.
Blaze it.
But that feels weird. I don't really know that that's something you need to be talking about, young lady. But and
The dads on the panel just looking at you. Emma, we're not mad. We're just disappointed.
disappointed. Good night, everybody.